Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick synopsis of what we see transpiring on this Monday morning in the new trading week here. XRP right now has had a nice little rebound back up to around the $2.33 and some change, maybe about $2.34. We've got a key area we're in right now, and this is a good way to start the week because we're going to see right off the bat exactly what kind of momentum we would like to start building. We had a nice dump down during the weekend, retested some important support structures. We came back down yesterday, and $2.26.3 is the breakout point here on what looks like a falling channel. Well, that's the falling channel resistance, but on this particular setup, it's not in the falling channel. Well, actually, the resistance is at 243, but this is a short-term symmetrical triangle breakout. Yeah, let's just put it that way, so we don't confuse everybody. Symmetrical triangle breakout, and the back test at $2.26 was hit. And now in current times, let's just say it came back down for whatever reason. Now you'd be looking to hold that 223.2, but right now we want to bounce off of where we're at. And it's mainly what we talked about yesterday. If this is an inverse head and shoulders in the short time frame, even though in the longer time frame this would be an inverse right shoulder, this could be starting the next leg up. And even though symmetrical triangles can be bearish consolidations, if you can break out of a symmetrical triangle and start pushing out, it can flip very bullish very quickly. We've got this broadening wedge that was set up. Yes, it looks like we could have a head and shoulders pattern in place, but it could also be just an inverse head and shoulders here in the shorter time as well. But as long as the broadening wedge doesn't break down, we're in good shape. Better yet, as long as that 223 doesn't break down, we're looking good. 220.5 is that pivot point. But then in time on this Monday morning and throughout the start of this trading week, we're going to have to find ourselves. And now we're pushing down here, so it's not 243 anymore. We'll measure this out. We'll move this over into real time. So $2.41 now. That's what we're trying to get above. For hourly, we have a bullish cross. Daily time frame is still where we have a problem. We've got to get past, because we've already had the bearish cross in the daily, and we're below that resistance, so we need to make some movement to the upside. We know yesterday we had a very big short put in by a Bitcoin whale. They put in a rather substantial Bitcoin short at 84K, and their target zone's like 68 to 72,000. So that's where the whales are starting to suggest we should be going. But we'll see if the market plays out like that, or if that's kind of, a contrarian look and the market does the opposite. But we'll see how this plays out. They did a 40x trade, so they're slightly in the money right now. I know their liquidation's around 86,100, so that's a little bit of room to go up and down. Right now it's up 1.24%, but there was a CME gap from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, if you're looking to see what that means. And that was up near 84K, so it's not a surprise we're opening right now up a little bit. But we're going to have to see how the market fares in totality. We'll do an intro, and then we'll look through this just a little bit deeper, looking at some of the nuances. I got to get my son to school at 8:20 a.m., so I want to do a nice 15-minute update here, maybe 20 minutes. We'll see how long it goes. And with gold and silver, gold's up $16.70 an ounce, hitting $3,000 an ounce now for the first time to start a week, but to end last week, it hit 3,002, and then it went down to about 2,085 or 2,985. It's come back the whole, or 2,984. It's come back the entire way, and now we're over 3,000 to start the Monday morning. I think silver is such a good play right now. The mining stocks are just undervalued, especially the gold mining stocks, since we're in one of these largest bull markets ever, and nobody seems to be talking about it. The two above the gold-silver ratio, those are my emerging market ones. That's what I did for my $7,000 last year for the IRA, right? $7,000 a year in the traditional. And that's what I decided to do in the contribution year 2024. 2025, I got 7,000 more because you get to write it off your bottom line. So that's just something that I've been doing. But anyhow, let me do the intro. Good morning. 7:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, March 17th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it's been an interesting start to the morning, to say the least. We've got some bullish pushes up right now, but we need to see where we end up settling in about an hour and a half at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's not just XRP. If we go just across the board, we have like IOTX is up a couple percent. MXC's down 1.3. Theta was up like 8%. Now it's starting to come down a little bit here now that the morning started. Filecoin's up 3%. Those are a couple that I'm looking at if this does go into another bearish dive. Those are the views that I'd be looking at if we did start falling down. AMP's up 3%. VELO's up 5%. Nothing real major this morning. Algo's up 3%. HBAR's up 3.6%. VChain's up 4.4%. ZIL's up 3.7%. XLM's up 3.78%. Good spot to start here as well. XLM still has not been able to get through that death cross here in the daily. In fact, the bearish crosses. In fact, we've now put in a death cross in the daily. So there are indicators here that are suggesting that we could flounder here, if not given some real support over the top. It's a really weird market we're in. The crypto fear and greed index actually went up yesterday despite the price dropping. Now it's come down a little bit, back to 22 it looks like. But it was weird that it went up yesterday. It's up from extreme fear of 17 last week to fear of 22 right now. It was 24 fear yesterday. So we are coming up slightly. I could see another pull down to like the 10 mark on the crypto fear and greed index. So, there's some things we need to watch. On the 27th and 28th is something important if you guys didn't see my live yesterday. Just want to reiterate this. So 21 shares to liquidate 2 Bitcoin and an Ether futures ETFs amid market downturn. And this will be the liquidation is set for March 28th with final trading on March 27th. So that's only 10 days from now. So next Thursday is going to be a very big day for crypto. And this is probably going to have some negative effects here for the most part. Because when they sell out of the ETF, it's not like when you sell out of the actual exchanges when they can print Tether and pay off the person who wants their money, or their currency in this case. Now they're going to have to use real dollars. They're not going to be able to print out fake Tether. They're not going to be able to do it. So this is where a big drop could in fact happen down to that mid 60,000 level, if not worse, when they do this. So we need to pay attention during these next couple of weeks, especially leading into next Thursday, if this is just going to be a little bit of rise here and then they're just going to fall out, because that's a very big optic that we have to deal with. Those ETFs are going to cause real money to cash out. And like I said, it's not like when you cash out of crypto. Like if I cash out right now, they could print Tether on these particular exchanges and they could cash out my Bitcoin or my Ethereum or whatever ETF. Now when they do it in the real market, in the ETFs, you can't just print Tether. You have to give real cash value. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic, to say the least. Do I expect it to dump going into it? I would be surprised if they didn't elevate the price a little bit as they sell out of the ETFs. But with that short happening, I often say these big money people, they're often in the know. And this same person long the market right before the strategic reserve was announced. So they know something. They have got to be a player of sorts. So I'm going to keep my eye on the what's happening, underneath the charts. Kind of like in the news perspective. Now, today we thought we'd have a little bit of green to start today. The CME gap, as we talked about yesterday from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange when it closed Friday for Bitcoin, was around 84K. So that was a gap to be closed. Now, what is this short doing? I don't know. It looked like they might have added to that short yesterday when it went up, past 84K. So that is interesting to say the least. But just the market fundamentals, we'll pay attention. We'll see if XRP can get above these very critical levels. We'll see if some of the other parts of the market can break above these levels. If not, it's okay. It set us in a position where it's possible that we were to break down, but we've also got the possibility of a big breakout as well. So we'll do this transparently. We'll look at this not just from the charting perspective, but we'll continue to talk this out together, not only in the lives at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but during the morning updates, during the shorts that I do during the week as well. It was just a really busy weekend, so I'm glad I was able to do lives on Saturday and Sunday. But there wasn't much else because I've had to redo my whole house because they're doing more work starting again today. I've got my kitchen being remodeled. Now it's going to be my living room and just a whole bunch of stuff. So, it's going to be pretty busy, but I'm still going to be here every day. It's just going to be a little more difficult to put the information out in the way I was. I'm just going to have to do it from different locations sometimes, that's all. Right now, though, for XRP, being over that 223 is a big sign. That does open up the door to the next level at $2.40. So that's where we're targeting right now. If we can hold that $2.23, even $2.20 as that pivot point, but better yet, if we stay over 223, our next layer up right now is going to be targeting $2.41. So from where we're at right now on this Monday morning, assuming we don't flounder back to the downside, we still got to come up about 2.5% to try to meet that $2.40 and see, or 241 to see how we react. Bitcoin, if you just look at it in this regard, we are back tested this little breakout point, but we've got a pivot point resistance at 86,549, which is interesting because from all accounts, that would liquidate that short. So we'll see, because right now it looks like it's playing in a good way, but we never can quite tell until, the 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I am happy with the way it's presenting itself right now. It's just, we'll see if risk assets end up building out or if we're going to continue that downward spiral. Last week we started off looking okay on Monday morning, and then all of a sudden it just completely reversed. So we'll see what's up in store here. But that's basically what I got. Ethereum is still on the outside of a rising wedge, and it hasn't really shown any kind of strength. We've still not pushed past that pivot layer of 1979, which I think is fascinating. That rising wedge that we fell out of is all the way up here now. We'd have to get above 2,500. That's a big gap there. And the fact that we exhaustion wick, we came below that double bottom, and now we're using it as a resistance. This could get ugly. If we get rejected at 1979 on Ethereum, if it comes back up, that's going to get ugly, because that rising wedge breakdown target is like $500. And now by no means are we saying it's going to go right there. But if the market were to get another rejection and Bitcoin goes down another, 17,000 to 74,000 or 16,000, I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting from here. Or 19,000, or no, not 19,000. 74,000 is about $9,500. But it would get pretty interesting, especially if it goes down to where that short, that whale put that short in, and it was a large amount at a 40x as well, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see how this day goes. Fascinated to see how the week goes. It looks like money's finding comfort and yield in commodities and precious metals right now. So we'll see how the exchanges open, in the stock market. But right now, money's finding yield in commodities and especially gold right now. I think silver is going to start popping here soon as well. I think that's very undervalued. And I think you could kind of question, like, are you going to make more money in silver or the commodities, the gold mining stocks, silver mining stocks? I think that's an untapped sector that everybody needs to pay attention to. It's been doing me very well over the years. And right now it's been starting to put into overdrive here a little bit. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. That's what I got this morning. Make sure to hit that like button. Share this on social media. And if you do appreciate my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 31,400 subscribers. I really, really appreciate the support. Remember, love over hate, positivity over negativity, and we got to stay emotionally unchanged so that we don't become unhinged. Even if it does go down, we know opportunities in commodities. We know opportunities in precious metals. So let's not lose our hope just because crypto might be in a tough spell. And right now we could be breaking out, but we have to see how the morning goes because we have death crosses across the board for the most part. Yeah, some smaller time frames are starting to reverse back out in our favor. But from the daily and the weekly, it does look like we've got some work to do still. So we're not going to get caught off guard, and we're also not going to be afraid of the market. And we have to understand if risk assets end up starting to retrace, we know there's opportunity, in store of value style money. So if risk assets are off, commodities are on, which they should already be now in precious metals, especially silver. But, some it's going to take a while to even, see the light of day when it comes to that sector. BITUNIX, lowest spot and leverage trading fees, lowest maker taker. They still have the campaign on for XRP this month. You can send money over and get vouchers for trading. It's in the video description below and our pinned comments of this video even. And on my homepage, use that link so you can be attached to the awards. HOTCOIN has VELO, XDC, IOTA, and such, but just be aware of liquidity issues. Crypto.com is fine, but it's obviously higher in fees. I would recommend BITUNIX unless you have to go the Crypto.com route. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, a nice way to send a donation. BLOFIN is a good alternative as well. They don't have DGB, but they have a lot of what Crypto.com has at very, very cheap fees in comparison. So just spend your money wisely. Don't make the exchanges too rich, but obviously we have to use what we have to use. But I'll catch you guys later on in the day. Have a blessed day, everybody.